Alright, hello everyone, it's Teamrocketdraws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial. And for this video guys, I'll be drawing one of your requests. So yeah, I'll be drawing Minun and Plusle. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how they end up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw them, then let's get started. I'm also going to put up a reference right now on screen. That way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys will get all your details. Just keep in mind guys that it's not going to end up looking like the reference 100%, but we do end up getting pretty close. Another thing is to keep an eraser handy, because we are going to start by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are going to do your final drawing. So the better that you guys follow the simple shapes that we're gonna do at the beginning, the easier it is for you guys to follow the drawing, and the better it's gonna come out. So yeah guys, so Plusle and Minun, I gotta say, it's been one of those two Pokemons that been requested since I can remember. I know there's one of you, I can't remember your name, and I'm sorry, that's been requested in the past couple of videos. But since I started my YouTube channel, there's a lot of people that have been requesting them, so I decided to draw them. So the first thing that we're gonna do guys is we're gonna start off by doing the circle, and basically that's gonna be the size of their head. So depending on how big you guys want them, you guys are gonna base that off this circle, the size of the circle. So after that we're just gonna split it in half and try to make your circles as perfect as you guys can. Obviously you guys are not gonna get them perfect, but just try to do them as close as you can to the way I have them here. So to the right we're gonna do another one, and this one's gonna be a little bit smaller, just because Minun, it's gonna be a little bit further away than Plusle, so it should be a little bit smaller than the one on the left, but not that much, not by that much. So just look at the distance, how far they are apart from each other, and just try to draw them your own. So right here, remember that I have to do this at an angle, so I do change it. I'm really sorry guys, I forgot to mention that. So we're just gonna basically split it in half both ways, but at a different angle. And this is just gonna help us do the angle of his face. The same thing over here for Minun. Gonna split at this angle, and then split it both ways. So the better that you guys make the circle, the easier it is gonna be to do the shape of his head, because he has an oval shape. You guys could go ahead and try to do the oval shape, but I decided to do it this way just to make it a little bit easier for everybody. So what I do is I just start by doing a circle, and then that middle line I just extend it a little bit on either side, and then from the top we're just gonna connect it and try to make an oval shape. So I could have gone and tried just to make the oval shape guys, but I knew I was gonna have trouble, especially doing two of them. So just to make it easier on me and some of you, I decided to do it this way. Obviously right now it's at a weird shape, but I do fix it just a little bit just to make it a little bit more oval shape, and then just more rounded off, because just by looking at it, the top left corner is a little bit kind of like that, and so I think I do change that later on, or in just a little bit. So once we have that, we could just work with the circle with the oval shape and try to fix it and just make it a little bit better. Since we have a reference shape right there, it's just gonna make it a little bit easier for us to fix. The same thing on this side. But on this side, actually the one on the right is a little bit shorter than the one on the left, and once again we could just round it off and connect it to the top. I think I do this one a little bit better. Because instead of connecting it right away to the circle, I actually go to the top and curve it more. So I think this one came out way better than the first one. And now that we have that guys, we could erase some of these lines from the first circle that we did. Alright, so now that we have that, we're gonna do the straight line going right here, and this line is actually the length of the circle, of the oval shape I mean. So I just mark it off around there. I'm using my fingers, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You guys can use a ruler, you guys can use your fingers, you guys can use a paper. It all depends. So now we're just gonna connect it and do this shape right here. And this one's pretty curved compared to the other one. The other one's more straight. This one's more of a curve. And just try to do it around this thickness. Now the same thing on this side. So once again, we're going to try to do it the same distance. So I'm just going to use my fingers as a reference. And then once again, just curve it. If you guys notice, the bottom of them are basically the same level. Like the bottom of those two shapes are, if you guys do a straight line going at the bottom, they're fairly the same level. So that's one of those things that you guys might want to pay attention to. Alright, there we go, guys. So now for another thing that we're going to do is the ears. So for the ears, we're just going to do a straight line. And right here, we could use is basically the same distance as the shape once again of the oval. So we could just do that. It doesn't have to be perfect once again, guys, but we could just reference that off that. Now for right here, we're just going to do half of it. So around half of the shape of the oval shape. And then we could just continue it to... at that angle. It's just since if you guys look at the reference, it's curved, so that's what that is. Alright, so now we're gonna do another one right here, and then once again basically the same distance as the oval shape. Another one over here. I do change this one and make it a little bit more at an angle. And if you guys notice on the reference, Minun's left ear actually goes over Plusle's left ear. No, Minun's right ear goes over Plusle's left ear. Since on my drawing, unless you guys get the distance from the oval shapes perfect, it's not gonna work like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to work with our drawing. Doesn't have to be perfect like the reference. Alright, so now around here, right in the middle of those two of that half, we're gonna do this circle. That's basically gonna be Plusle's cheek. The other one's around here, and then just try to make it at the same same level. You guys basically can see right there, this one's basically the same size. If I go from one side to the other, they're basically the same size. So long as that looks close, then I'll be fine. So a little bit to the left of that middle line, and then we could do a reference line just to help us do the mouth, because it doesn't go lower than that. We could just do this line, and then it just goes back up, and it goes past that middle line a little bit higher. It's kind of like a UV shape. And now we're just gonna do the top of his mouth, and there we go, we got his mouth done. Alright, so now for his eye, it's right in between his mouth and his cheek, and it's fairly small. If you guys look at the reference, it's not that big, and it's just another oval shape. The trouble is trying to get both of them the same size and on the right spot. It's just one of those things that personally I have a lot of problems with, but I think I did okay on my first try on doing the eyes. There we go. So this one on the left should be a little bit smaller than the one on the right, because it is a little bit further than the right one. And then we can just do a little line for his nose around there. And now we're gonna do around half of that oval shape for the eye. We're gonna do a circle on the top. So right there, if we split that oval shape that we did for the eye in the middle, it has this circle at the top of that. So the top half of the circle, basically. There we go. So now we're gonna do his tongue around here. So we basically got the reference shapes that we need to do all of it, guys. From now on, it's just details and yeah, just details. So if you guys got this far, then the rest is gonna be a little bit easier. So now for Minun, we're gonna do his cheeks once again. This one's around here. And this one should be a little bit smaller compared to the one on the left. I mean Plusle's. And now another one over here. And this one's a little bit awkward because it kind of is more of an angle, so it's not gonna be exactly like the one on the left. And then right here we're gonna do the eye. So if you guys look at the distance from the eye and the cheek on the reference, just try to imitate that on your drawing. It's like a small distance, so they're almost touching, the eyes and the cheeks. Once again, try to do these two eyes the same. or close to it, and they should be a little bit smaller than Plusle's. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to my channel, Teamrocketdraws. I do a lot of tutorials. I try to do different other types of videos, so make sure to subscribe. Alright, so now that we have that, once again, he has these like highlights on his eye, so it's basically the top half of his eye. That one looks a little bit wrong, I'm sorry, now that I'm looking at it. Alright, so now for the mouth. The mouth is basically like almost like a arrow, or like a almost ends at a point in the middle, or a little bit to the left in the middle. And then we can just do the nose. Alright, so now for his ears. So at the beginning of his ears, I noticed that he has this kind of like a circular shape where it starts. It kind of looks like, if you guys take away the color ears, like the red ears, and just leave this little circle right there, it kind of looks like a little bear. It's just something really funny that I never really noticed about these two. And just try to do them a little bit smaller than his cheeks. If you guys compare them in the reference, they are a little bit smaller than the cheeks. And then just try to do both of them on each one the same size. The same thing over here. Try to do Minun's a little bit smaller than his cheeks, and both of his the same size. And those should be a little bit smaller than Plusle's. Alright, so now that we have that, guys, we're gonna start off by finishing his ears. So I do this shape, but later on I do go back and fix it. I didn't really like the shape of it. I make it a little bit thinner. That's what I end up doing later on. So the ears basically come off of those circles for his ears. So it does take me a couple tries just to do the ears, because I was trying not to make them too big. I do erase it right here, and I think later on I actually go back and change it even a little bit more. So just look at the reference, guys, and just try to copy it. And then I notice that this one kind of has of a curve. There we go. I mean, just looking at it, I think it's okay, but I was just too focused on it, so it wasn't looking like alright to me at that time. And now to do this other ear, guys, it should basically be the same thickness as the other one. So just try to keep these two like the same thickness. And once again, they actually come off the little ear, the yellow ear that sticks out, not his actual head. Something I noticed till once I did the final drawing. Same thing on this side. Once again, since I didn't place it exactly the same as the reference, like the distance apart, this ear doesn't go exactly over Plusle's ear. But if you guys just change the angle of the line that we did for the ear, you guys could actually fix that and do it that way. To me, it didn't really matter, so I didn't do it perfect. Now for the other ear, once again, try to make these the same thickness on both sides and the same distance. And these should be a little bit thinner once again compared to Plusle's. It's just one of those things that I want you guys to be consistent throughout your drawing. Is just try to make them, since one's a little bit smaller than the other, try to make it a little bit smaller than the other. Alright, so now for Minun's hand or arm. It's pretty small, guys. It doesn't go further than his head. He has pretty short arms. I think I do a reference line right here just to show you guys that it doesn't go further than the edge of his head, right here. So it's just gonna help us do his arms. Alright, so now around here, we're just gonna go this way, and like almost at the middle, a little bit more to the right than the middle, we're just gonna extend this line right here and do one of his legs. So if we split it in the middle, I do that reference line just to give you guys an idea. This is how it should basically line up. And then we could just curve that line. Now let's do his foot. that's like going up in the air, and his foot does go up almost touching his hand, or at the same level as one of his arms. So that's what I paid attention to while I was doing it. And it's just basically kind of like this oval shape with the bottom cut off. Same thing on this side. And right here I'm just gonna curve the right side of that line a little bit more, just because it is curved. And then we're gonna do his tail right here, which is a little bit smaller than that circle that he has for the ear. And right now, just by looking at Minun, guys, I think he's looking really cute. I don't know, it looks a lot better than Plusle, or at least in my drawing he comes out like that. Alright, so now for the details right here on his arms. He does have part of his arms blue or red. And then I'm just gonna do the straight line that actually goes through the body. And the reason I do this is just to make sure that it does line up like on the reference. So I just make a line going through it just to make sure that it comes out at the same angle on the other side, and then I could just erase it and do the body. There we go. So that's his tail. It's basically just a line. Now for Plusle's, once again I just do a straight line, and then and right here I'm just pointing out to make these basically the same thickness, because if you guys look at the reference, they're almost the same thickness. And then just use the other line to reference this one that you guys are about to make. And then right at the middle, it sticks out a little bit, that goes actually behind Minun's. Oh, it all depends where you guys made it, guys. If yours doesn't go further than it doesn't even get close to touching Minun's, then don't like make it really long, you know. Just make it a little bit, just look at the reference and see how far it goes away from the tail. Alright, so now for this leg on Plusle, it should basically be the same size as Minun's over there, but just a little bit bigger. Right here, I think I did mine the same size. And then I just did this little line for like the knee. And now for his arms. So once again, it doesn't go further than the edge of his head. Right here I went a little bit further, but like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you guys try to keep it around that level. The same thing on this side. And then once again, try to make these like cone shapes the same size, like the same thickness on both sides, just to once again keep it consistent to throughout the whole drawing or sketch. Now for the details right here where it splits the color on his arms, same thing on this side around here. And we're basically done, guys. I think the only thing that we have left is to do the shapes on their cheeks. So right here I just go ahead and start erasing some of these reference lines that are getting in the way. We don't need those no more since we do got our overall sketch. So go ahead and just erase these guys. Go start in one section and then just go from there. I recommend looking at the reference, that way you guys can get a better idea of what lines to erase and which ones to keep. So the way I do that is basically I started, for example, there I started in one ear, and then I looked at my drawing, then I started another one, and then just went from there. And then start erasing any lines that were not supposed to be there. That's one of those reasons that I do put up the reference up there, just to make it easier for you guys. And then right here you also erase some of that sketch, and then just basically clean out the drawing. We're basically done with the drawing, guys. Like I said, right now I'm just cleaning it up. I'm erasing some of those lines. For example, right there I noticed that his head doesn't connect, the shape of his head doesn't connect, so I do erase it. The same thing on the other one. And then these reference lines that go around here, and then just fix any lines that you guys don't like. If there's, now that you guys got your overall sketch, if there's something that you guys don't like or that you guys might feel the need to change, then go ahead. This is the perfect time, because you guys got your full sketch done, and now if something's gonna look off, this is the time that it is, you know. So if you guys probably did one arm longer than the other one, go ahead and change it. If you guys did the ears like different thicknesses or different sizes, then go ahead and change that. Maybe the eyes, the ears, the legs, like the tails. There's anything that you guys could change now's the perfect time. For example, me, I still had trouble with that ear. It still didn't look right, so I do go back and I change it. And we're basically done. Like I said, the only thing we need now is just to do the shapes on his cheeks. Right here I'm just trying to do like fixing it, just trying to like do the shapes right, just because this is gonna be my final drawing, because I am going to go over it with the pen, and then once it dries, I'm using an eraser just to erase that pencil, and it's just gonna leave me with the perfect outline. Right there, the shape of the bottom of that tail didn't look right, so I do change it. And I gotta say, guys, this is one of those drawings that I had fun drawing. It's just two of those Pokemons that personally I wouldn't have drawn unless you guys requested. Since there's so many Pokemon, I usually try to do like legendaries or like some of the most popular Pokemons, but just because there's a lot of you that requested this drawing, I decided to draw it. So this is where I noticed that we still need to do the shape. So what I do is right in the middle, I just do this cross, and then I basically do the outline for the shape, following that. So if you guys got this far, guys, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys are actually drawing him, and let me know how he's going so far. Just stop the video, guys, and let me know. Leave a comment, tell me that you got this far, and so far how it's going. You know, it's just really just one of those things that I really want to know, because I get a lot of views on my videos, but I'm not sure how many people actually like drew him. So if you guys would let me know, then I would really appreciate that. So right here, guys, like I said before, I just used my a pen just to go over it. I'm actually using I can't remember the name of these markers, but you guys can use a pen or whatever. And then once the pen is dry, or the ink is dry, I just go over it with an eraser, and I basically erase all the pencil. And then I do end up coloring it. I use my Copic markers. I use two different reds, two yellow, and then like a little light brown for the shadows on the yellow. Once again, I used two different pinks for his mouth, the lighter one and a darker one. The same thing on Minun's color, the blue. I used two different blues, and then the same thing on his body. I used the yellow and then like a little light brown for his shadows. And then I just went colored in his pupils or his eyes, and we're basically done, guys. It's not perfect. I think the shape of Plusle's head is a little bit weird now that I'm looking at it, and I think his the right eye, it's a little bit funky. It's a little bit weird. If I could go back and change that, I think I would. It's just not it looks pretty weird, and then the top of his head is a little bit pointy, but I think you guys could do a better job. So hopefully you guys can make any changes to your drawings just so it won't come out like mine, because now that I'm looking at it, it's a little bit funky, something that I didn't notice when I was drawing it. Because I did spend like a total of like 40 minutes doing this video, or like drawing and coloring him. So once you look at a drawing for so long, you kind of like lose focus of some of the things, and it just starts like all looking the same. So I think the best one that came out was Minun. I just really like how he looks. Like I said before, one of those things that I would have changed on Plusle would be the shape of his head and his right eye. But overall, guys, I think it came out okay. Don't forget to leave a like, guys. Let me know in the comment section how he turned out. Once again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, guys. And I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.